Hey guys, so this is my 8-week video. Last week I talked a little bit about orthodontia, and this week I think I'm going to focus on how/why I chose my oral surgeon, and a little bit also at the end about what he told me would happen and then what maybe actually ended up happening, which was two different things. So I've seen on many blogs FAQ sections that people have questions about this, so I just wanted to address it, especially here in the US. Things are different in Canada and in much of Europe. It seems like in those places, a lot of times, if your surgery is deemed medically necessary, then the government healthcare system just kind of foots the bill. So that's awesome. Here there are ways to do that. Uh, I had an option of doing HMO, um, Kaiser HMO, or PPO. So I chose PPO. I'm not sure how like the regular HMO would work, but I wanted to be able to choose my own surgeon and not just get referred to somebody and then that's the person I have to choose. Okay. If you go to Kaiser, it pretty much works the same way. Kaiser, I've had them before. I think is a great company. Basically, you go into this hospital place because it's like one big hospital, each Kaiser building, but it just is all there. So like you have a cold, you go here, and they're like, oh no, you need to see like a throat specialist. So then you go to somewhere else in the building, and it's all connected, and it's great that way. They run it like a business because it is a business, and they want everyone to be healthy. So because of that, they try to do a good job. Um, but like I said, I chose not to do that because I wanted to choose whoever I wanted to choose, and I didn't know who that would be. So my orthodontist referred somebody, and I went to see him, and he was super experienced. He was super nice. He answered all of my questions. He was really patient with me. And then when I looked him up, and this could be a lie, right? But whatever. When I looked him up, he went to UC Berkeley. He went to UCLA to get his different degrees. I think he taught at UCLA. He taught at USC. I mean, he seemed on paper excellent, and in person, I really liked him. So actually, that's the only person I ever met, but he seemed great, um, the only problem I had with him was that he's out of network. So when somebody's in network and you're PPO, basically you pay a certain amount up to your deductible. So you pay like 10% of their cost up to a certain amount. And then after that, once you pay that amount, like 1,000, 2,000, whatever it is, then you don't have to pay anymore. So he's out of network, which means that kind of all gets thrown out the window. What I was estimated by his office, and he had this really awesome lady who did all of the surgery coordinating with the insurance and everything. So she got a hold of my insurance, everything was approved. They said she estimated that they would pay about 30% of my surgery. It ended up, so I had to pay 70% like before the surgery, and then it ended up that she overestimated what I would have to pay. So they ended up giving me back, and you can calculate this yourself if you want, but they gave me back about, I want to say like $1,700. So they ended up paying like 45% of the surgery costs. And then so I had to pay him, I had to pay for an assistant surgeon, and then just a couple $1,000, and then I had to pay for some like additional x-rays at other offices. So that was just a few $100s. So I did pay a good amount of money to be able to choose the person that I wanted to go to. And I'm happy with that choice. I literally put my money where my mouth is by paying this and saying, okay, it's not just about the money, it's money plus the rest of my life, because I need my mouth and my jaw, and I want everything to look right. And I also need it to work correctly. I use my voice every day. I need it for work and like literally need it for work. And I love eating and I don't want it to hurt and I want it to look right. And aesthetically, it seemed like he understood what he was doing, all that good stuff. So I went with him and I'm totally happy with it. Um, the other thing I wanted to mention was that the first time I met him, and I heard this from somebody else recently on YouTube, but the first time I met him, he said, you'll have two choices regarding the surgery that you want to do. So the first choice is basically what everybody gets done. The first choice is you cut this way. So the jaw's like a big fat U. So you cut this way all the way through, and then you move the jaw back, and then you bolt it. And then the other way is to do it from the back somewhere. That's how he explained it. So if you cut, the first way, then the healing is faster. You don't have to have your jaws literally wired shut. You're in rubber bands afterwards. And most people, that's what they do. When they say that their jaw is wired shut, they're really in rubber bands, and they don't get a choice between, surgery A and surgery B. He said surgery A, though, even though it's, the fancy new method, and it heals faster, there are higher chances for you to lose, for your nerves to get damaged and for you to lose sensitivity in your face. So he had one patient who got this done, I think in her 30s, and this whole portion, like half of her face, she now has no feeling. That's a huge deal to me. So my husband had knee surgery, and when he explains like what it feels like now in a certain portion of his legs, he hates it and he thinks it's terrible and it feels really icky and disgusting. And that seems like it would be a terrible thing for your face. So there's that option. And then the other option, going through the back, it would take 3 weeks afterwards of having your jaw wired shut. And then the rest of the time is what, the healing time of the other surgery, because you would have the rubber bands after that. So he made it sound like, I swear to God, he made it sound like I had a choice. So of course I'm like talking to people about this, and I chose the second surgery. I mean, I don't know if it's of course, but I chose the second surgery because I would rather suffer short term and, make sure that my nerves are totally undamaged. And that's what he made it sound like. If you got that old school surgery where they go through the back, that your nerves wouldn't be touched at all. So the whole time I'm like, okay, I'm going to get that second surgery. I'm going to get that second surgery. About a month before the surgery, he starts describing what he's going to do during the surgery. And I was like, wait, but you gave me that other option. And he goes, oh, well, actually, really? Because only certain people can actually get that surgery done. And it really depends. I mean, I'm not sure that I would be able to know that you're a candidate for that kind of surgery until maybe even like a week before. So I was like, okay. So I feel like he kind of changed his mind on me. I don't really know what happened. I know I didn't misconstrue what he said. He was going to give me two options. He couldn't tell me which one was better or worse, and it was up to me. And by the time the surgery came around, I had option A, basically. But I trusted him, and I trusted him to make the best decision. So what ended up happening was fine. He went in, and he said my nerves were very well protected. They should be fine after the surgery. And really they are. I have, like, on the outside of my face, I have no numbness. The only place I'm numb is the outside very top of my gums, and that doesn't affect me in the least. I'm hoping that that sensation comes back, but if it doesn't, I'm okay with it. So he went in, everything went perfectly. I do think, though, that that is partly luck because I put this in my blog, but basically, I would think that by now, like in the 21st century, there should be this machine that scans your head and tells the surgeon exactly what to cut and how much to move where, and that's not the case. Um, they take molds of your teeth, you get some x-rays done, and based on that, they say things like, yeah, we're gonna go in and figure out uh, where to move what, and I think it's gonna go in this direction about 2 or 3 millimeters, and then this other part we're gonna move back into the right like 3 to 5 millimeters, and you're like, wait, 3 to 5 millimeters? That doesn't even make sense. Like, how do you? That's such a big range. Um, so they're basing it off of molds and X-rays. They can only know so much about what's going on in there until they open you up and they see everything. So I think that I was just very lucky. I've never heard of another case online or through my orthodontist. I've never heard of anybody having surgery, jaw surgery, going back to the surgeon a week later and getting everything taken out of your mouth. Like, I had no rubber bands after 6 days. So 6 days, I went back there and he's like, looks perfect. You don't need these anymore. And I was in shock. I was like, are you sure? Like, I've never heard of this before. And he goes, why? Oh, you read too much online. So they took everything off. Granted, I have rubber bands now. Those were put on by my orthodontist. My surgeon said everything looked great. And really it did. I don't think that I needed to train my bite, especially back then. I don't know that I do right now. I think that maybe my orthodontist is being super safe about stuff. Um, but my bite's great, and it was great right out of the surgery, basically. So I think I was lucky, and I'm happy with my choice. So I just wanted to kind of let you know that stuff. If you have any questions for me, I don't know what you would ask, but if you have any questions for me, then feel free to comment or whatever. So let me know, and I'll see you. I think maybe in like 2 weeks, because I think this is 8 weeks and nothing's really happening. So I think maybe 10 weeks, and then that'll be like a pre-surgery thing. Maybe 12 weeks will be the actual surgery, and then we'll see what happens after that. Okay? So have a great couple of weeks. Bye.